Hi, I'm vocal coach Florent Izoard, and this is How to Sound Like You, episode 2, part 1. How to sound like... Today we're going to talk about vocal range. Singers who audition for parts, like musical theatre singers for example, have an easily identifiable goal in terms of range. The part they apply for dictates the notes they should be able to sing, as well as how they should sound. On the other hand, singers whose career depends upon creating a new musical experience for the audience, whether it's through songwriting or covers, do not have that point of reference. Pop singers belong to the second group. To create their sound, they have many choices to make in terms of what key they should sing a song in and what parts of their range they should put forward. Obviously, I can't give you all the right answers for you because finding them is a big part of your artistic journey. But I can give you several points you should consider in the process of choosing. In this first part of the episode, we're going to talk about anatomy and nature. The size of your vocal cords pretty much determines how high or low your voice is going to be. Think small dog, big dog. Obviously, the variations between human adults are much smaller, and even smaller within one gender, but they still exist. The problem with getting that information about your own voice, though, is that training can unlock many things in terms of range. For example, maybe you can't sing certain high notes because of your current vocal habits, rather than your actual natural range. The easiest way to get a glimpse of what nature gave you in that context is to take a look at the low end of your range. This end is indeed rarely extendable by training. The location of this lowest note may vary just a little bit, mostly between the early morning and the rest of the day, but you can still get a fairly good idea of where it is. Once you've found out what it is, you can infer two things. First, the average human range spans around 3 octaves, which means that, with training, you can probably get the note that is 3 octaves higher than your lowest one. Second, it allows you to divide your range into 3 parts to know what's low, medium, and high for your voice. More on that in part 2. To finish, here are a few singers with different vocal ranges, which means different lowest notes. Most women can sing a reliable F3, but Kelly Clarkson sounds like she's near the low end of her voice on an A-flat 3 in this next extract.
I used to stand so tall, I used to be so strong.
We can conclude that she has a high range. On the contrary, few women can sing below D3, but Beyoncé sings a C3 in this next extract.
It didn't even make a sound.
She clearly has a low range. Let's look at men now. Most men can sing a reliable G2, but Bruno Mars struggles with a C3, the same as Beyoncé, in this next extract.
Don't remember what day it was.
He barely sings in the second octave at all, so he has a very high range for a man, pretty much the same as Beyoncé. Finally, Lewis Capaldi sings an F-sharp 2 in this next extract.
Precious time.
This is quite common for men. Very low male voices usually have a strong D2. To conclude, if you don't already know, try to find out what your lowest note is approximately, and I'll see you next week for part 2. Thanks for watching. How to sound